These mountains came up higher than I wanted them to come up, but I'm so glad they did. They come up and then down. It gives you a little more right there, you know? Whatever you call that. That. Gives you that. Hi, I'm Kevin Hill, and today we're going to do a beautiful little seascape. We're going to focus a lot on the sunlight. Should be really interesting. If you're looking forward to seeing this and you'd like to see more, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more painting videos. All right, let's get started. Now we're going to start off somewhere, this is about halfway up the canvas, somewhere in this area. We're going to start out with a yellow color. We're just going to paint this in to create us a little sunset. Actually, let me show you the palette. You see, I kind of mixed it loosely. It's almost just a sunset happening there on the palette. It's kind of nice, isn't it? We're going to lay down, I've already put down clear gel. Actually, down about this point right there, up. So a little further than normal because there's a little more sky than normal. There's about 1/4 is actually going to be the landscape part, seascape part, whatever. And then about 3/4 is going to be sky. So as you can imagine, we'll be spending an extra minute in the sky. But anyway, working up, don't go crazy yet, because see, you want to get some of these colors just sort of established. I don't know if that makes a lot of sense, but like I don't want this yellow all the way up until we establish where our purple and our blue is going to be. If that makes sense. So we'll just sort of keep it subtle for now. I'm not worried about any of the soft edges yet. It's okay to leave some paint lines in there for now. Now we're moving forward here with a little pink. I'm trying to add some clouds. You can see I already put in a little bit of a top part of the sky, and what I did just a second ago is actually wiped everything off with a paper towel. Actually, shop towel. Don't leave those little paper towel fibers that way. But anyway, the point is, I pretty much just got it down to as dry a canvas as possible. And now that allows me to sit here for the next half hour and build, yes, half hour, and build on these beautiful clouds. This isn't something that I want to rush today because they're so important to me. It makes all the difference. This is going to be a nice seascape, I think. I've got some thoughts and plans where I want to take it, and I think it's going to be pretty good. So I don't want to rush this. I think this is one we can be super excited about at the end if everything goes together, at least like it is in my mind. Yeah, there we go. All right, that is looking very decent. Very decent. We're going to stop here in just a moment and sketch in our distant mountains, and then at least we know where our sky is going to kind of end. But for now, I'm not going to worry about it. For now, I'm just going to place in these little cloud shapes. See, we're most likely going to lose, a lot of that. I think it'll actually be nice. Okay, so maybe, here's my palette. I've got all sorts of colors going already. Nice purple tone, and I'm thinking right up in here. Oh, there it is. I found a nice looking cloud up here. We'll just pull it right out from the background. Now I'm going to create some really crazy bright clouds. I couldn't think of the words because I was concentrating. Yeah, it's all right. We'll be okay. Anyway, I'll just create these little smaller clouds. And to tell you the truth, I think this is maybe, because I was kind of trying to do it loose and fast, I think maybe it's a little large. And I'll show you what I mean later. You'll totally see what I mean. It's just my strokes are large. The clouds appear large, which is fine, but I have this vision here that I think I want these to be like smaller, just tinier, more busy. I want a more busy sky. That's what I'm picturing this looking good as today. So we're going to try doing that for sure, but I'm going to definitely slow it down over here and get those smaller clouds happening. And I've spent the last few minutes just kind of taking a clean 3/4 brush and just blending, really. It's all this is just blending. You could do this with a bigger brush, but by doing it with a small brush, what you'll end up doing is, because this is oil paint, you end up creating all of these little tiny bonus things. And these bonus things are like I'll pick up a little pink here and I'll bring it over here. You just want to be careful not to create any muddy colors, which can happen. As long as that doesn't happen, we'll be all right. Now, that's looking pretty much finished. That's the idea of this whole thing, is to just, and you can add colors. See that? It doesn't have to be just a clean brush. Originally it was, started that way, but you can get in here and change it a little if you need to. And then of course you can get the shop towel out, really put some final touches on it. But it's starting to get close. I'd say we're getting very close to where we can probably start doing the accent highlight and then call it complete. We'll move on. We'll get our little foreground sketched in. Make sure everything lines up before we get rid of these colors, you know. Because it's easy to go back in now and repair stuff if you feel the need. Oh, that's good. That is so good. All right, so just playing around with color. Just the more colors you get in, the better. Giving that new camera kind of a workout. Make it record all of these colors, which is really fun. You can see all the colors that I'm seeing now. That's pretty. All right, now let me grab my towels. It's been a little while since I've showed you. See, just blue shop towels. You get them at the automotive section. All right, here we go. Maybe just, here's my sun area. I've already wiped it once, but I'll wipe it again. And you can literally just use the canvas underneath. It's kind of like your highlight coming through some of these cloud areas. Nice. See, if maybe like you want to open this area up a little, just rub it, soften it, bring out some of these highlights without creating mud that way. You can only add so much paint before it just, becomes a big mess. This is a good way to do it. It really is. Maybe you want some blue here. I don't know. If you want a little blue there, just scrape this area out with that paper towel. Or maybe I just like it soft, soft like that. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? I don't have a lot of blue in the background. I was planning to, but it may just be not necessary. We'll see. We will see. But there you go. Be careful though, that will create mud. So get a new one. Come in here maybe and just continue to wipe it. I hope you see that wiping the canvas here is the big secret to making this look professional and look completed. Now I've just sketched in, and now I'm just kind of filling in some of these distant mountain things back here. So you've got a little bit of a green color. This is a sunset, but there's blues in it, so I'm going to have greens in it. Not crazy intense greens, but there will be green. It's going to be every color in this painting. I think it's going to be so pretty. But that, to me, looks decent. Okay, so, I'm going to bring that down. I want some haze kind of in the background here. For now, just leave that to sit. I think I'm going to or just grab a purple even. Just grab purple and add maybe a little more red. And there's all sorts of different purples to choose from at this point, right? Wow, that's dark. Oh, that's nice. And just add in, pretty much just get in this little beautiful change of color back here. Just like that. I'm kind of all over the place with my words because I'm thinking, I'm concentrating so much. There. That is okay. I want to make sure we get it right. You can always tell when it's when you're kind of going crazy in a painting. Look at your palette. When it looks like this, you have like 3 zillion different little colors mixed up and everything's like everywhere. Then you're going crazy with your painting. The other thing, I know it's weird. I don't even know why I thought to tell you this right now. The other thing you can do is look at your paper towels. If you've got a bunch of little dots on your paper towels, like where you've been wiping 3 million colors out of your brush, changing colors every 5 seconds, that's when you're really getting into it with your painting, and it's actually a good thing usually. But there you go. That's pretty decent. These mountains came up higher than I wanted them to come up, but I'm so glad they did. They come up and then down. It gives you a little more right there, whatever you would call that. That gives you that. All right. If at any time you feel like you're getting a little out of control, just wipe the canvas. There we go, and a lot of blue down in this area. Oh, that's pretty. We got blue up in the sky, so we can do blue down here. Now I'm going to scrub in just a lot of the foreground colors here. Actually, I didn't set down my palette. I need to be picking that up. We're going to need some paint. There. Get a lot of these foreground colors going. Of course, you can obviously wipe off the canvas if it just gets to be too crazy. And it very well may. You just, never know. Never know till you get into it. But that's looking about right. I'm just kind of establishing some of those colors. Not worried about it too much here. Kind of crashes down here. I don't even know that this wave is really even fully done. You know, as far as like the shape, it may need some. You're looking at this and you don't know it's fully done. Yeah, it's as far as the shape, I know it's not fully done. Okay. Let's see here. Maybe oh, there, that's nice. A little light coming across. It would be really nice, but we can actually wipe this area off when we go to do our eyes. Maybe bring some of that back along the top. Could be nice. Could be nice. All right. I know I'm going to have a secondary wave in here. I should say I know I have a secondary wave planned. So let's go ahead and just drop those colors in. You'll see that I'm being pretty careful to get a lot of these beautiful purpley tones in here. And then the highlights, we'll bring those in with the orange tones and all that. And then we'll cross our fingers and hope we don't get mud. Right? Oh boy. There, that's good. See, that'll come up against the little sand area, the rocky sand area right there. I think we can make that work. There are just colors everywhere today. Couldn't even tell you what's going on. There. That's good though, look at that. So pretty. Already starting to get this established. Maybe back up in here. Just fill it in, make sure that canvas is filled in. We want it to be very, very foggy back here. Now we're going to place in the eye of the wave. It's super important to keep that clean until, you know, up until this point. Otherwise you might get some unwanted mixing. There, and then we'll just run that right back. Oh, that's pretty. Now, you take your blender brush. This is almost, you know, the way I paint almost every single eye of the wave. You do this, take your blender brush, get in here, smooth everything out. You'll notice I didn't care if I left a little white canvas showing, because this step completely fixes it. I'm mostly concerned with just laying that color down. Oh, that's nice. Wow. People pay extra for that sort of stuff. If you haven't already grabbed a blender brush, definitely head over to the website. We've got them there. And give one a try, because they will help when it comes to doing stuff like this. Oh, they make a huge difference. Here, all I'm doing is just grabbing some orange, and I'm just sneaking a little of that right there. The kind of all over the place hand movements, they're just optional. But the color is not so optional. That's so pretty. Oh, that's nice. All right. It's okay to get excited. It doesn't really matter if people think you're weird, does it? Okay. Maybe a little brighter yellow. Literally just stick that right there, and then get your blender brush out and then blend that in. Oh, it's starting to get better. I'm just finishing up, kind of adding a little highlight. This is just the first highlight. We need to come back and add a lot more to that. But we're going to take that color now and put it in our last unpainted area. That color is just, I don't even know, just a pink of some kind. It's just already laying around on the palette. I'm going to place this in this dry area. So it was kind of good that we didn't have any paint down here yet, because it allows us to go on nice and clean. In fact, wouldn't be a bad thing to get a little yellow. Actually be a very good thing. Maybe right there, just a little yellow. Right in here, a little yellow. Nice. See what a difference that makes. Actually, a little more yellow up. I'm going to probably get that detail round brush out in a minute and just really make that nice. I think it needs that yellow there. But anyway, speaking of yellow, what do you think if we get a little more? I'm thinking somewhere in this area, and make it really feel like that sunlight's coming through. So actually a little more over here, because the sunlight's coming this way. Oh, that's nice. We're going to do some palm trees somewhere up in this area without messing anything up. There. A little more of that yellow right. Oh, all right. So we'll just blend these out. And the way you do that is just I like to pick up something in the brush, just whatever, purple, any kind of a tone there that's not pure white, and it just helps to fill in, because there's still some dry canvas spots. And basically you're filling in this area here kind of with a mid-tone. There. This is very dry, but it's worth fighting that dryness of the canvas, because it allows you to add more detail here in just a minute. I think it's totally worth it. All right, we'll just play around with these colors. It's already creating a little foreground. Well, now we can carefully add in just a little extra highlight. It's kind of an accent highlight, actually. We just based in the colors pretty quickly, and now this is where they start to sparkle. And use a different stroke. You can use a stroke that is a little more, sharp. It's a little less softened. You know, you don't do this so much. It's a little better to come in and just kind of hit it like you would maybe the silver lining of a cloud. That's at least the effect I want here in this painting today. That's not to say that's the way you always finish out a seascape. It certainly isn't. And it makes the most sense to kind of hit these areas that are already bright. You wouldn't want to take this and bring it somewhere where that's not bright. It wouldn't really make sense. In fact, it wouldn't even look right. There. So that is pretty much the accent highlight. Maybe just a little touch right there. That's good. Maybe just a little sparkle up in right in this little section where that light might come through. But again, it's not too bright here, so I'm not going to go, not going to go crazy. There. Maybe with that same color. What do you think if we maybe enhance that just a little? Ooh, it's going to need to be brighter yet. I don't even know if we can get a whole lot brighter, but oh, there it is. I found it right there. That's nice. Wipe my brush out on a paper towel, and then I can hopefully just give it a touch right along the edges without touching the actual spot that I put down first. Only touching the edges to soften it away. That's it right there. That is glowing. In fact, I don't know if it's going to be too much or not, but you never know until you try. Set a little white right there. Not much. Almost like a little sparkly highlight. I don't know, it's just a sparkly painting today. It's a little sparkly highlight might fit perfectly. And then kind of blend that in. I don't know if it does anything or not, but there it is. Some of these steps, you can't breathe. You just gotta hold your breath. That looks really decent. Okay, now remember I said we were gonna mess around with the highlight to the top of the wave here? You know, this little splashy bit. Let's just, thinking about that light source, let's just see if we can't illuminate some of this. Just, yeah, something like that. You know, I'm not gonna go crazy. In fact, you see some of these little spots there? I'm gonna try to leave those. That acts like splash that's further away, more in the background of this whole area. So you're kind of adding these layers in your painting. It's kind of cool. See that? And some of that mist is, you know, behind this. And then softer as you get away here. Actually, not much over there. Oh, that's it. Wow, what a difference. Just a few strokes makes a huge difference in a painting like this, doesn't it? It goes from just so-so, you know, oh, just the first layer is down to, ooh, that's starting to look nice in just a moment, right? Just one or two strokes. And that's fun for you guys to be able to see that. I'm excited. All right. There you go. I don't know if I want a whole lot on the top here because I don't want to sharpen that. It's actually fuzzy, and I'm loving that. Maybe just a sparkle or two, but not enough to go crazy. Now I'm going to highlight some of this sand or rock, probably sandy rock. I don't know. It doesn't matter because here's the thing. You see, also I put in a little dark, which I think gave us kind of a head start. I didn't have quite enough paint. I would use dark paint. I just didn't have enough of it on there. So it didn't appear very dark, so I added more. And now what I'm doing, I'm just sculpting in. The reason I keep going down my palette, I'm never quite satisfied with that color, you know. So I kept tweaking it. It's better now. I just wanted to have it just right. I don't know what it means. I don't even know what I'm saying. Yeah, it's okay. Look, we're close. We're close. We just got a couple of palm trees to paint, and we'll be done. But this is just going to give us a little shape and a little dimension to this area. See that? don't go too bright on this or it'll just be distracting. The other thing that I'm kind of seeing is as we mix with this, there's a lot of black in here. I haven't used much black in this painting, but there's a lot of black in this dark area. As it mixes with that, it gets gray. So I'm adding more and more red to offset that. Because I do not. The last thing in the world I want is gray or grayed down colors. That's why I haven't used black up to this point. I love black. Love black in landscape paintings. I don't know about still lifes and stuff like that, but for landscapes, whew, I'm all about using that dark black to get your contrast and get all that worked in. But for this painting today, I just avoided using it more so that I wouldn't get muddy colors. But that is starting to look good. And we can tweak these rocks around a little, but we certainly don't need to bring a whole lot of attention to this area. This is just catching whatever light is spilling down, which wouldn't be a whole lot. Nice. And then, of course, to make this look good, you probably want to, those are rocks, you probably want to have a transition of some kind down here where you have a little of this spilling into the sand, and then we've got this rock here as well. We'll just pick this, at least that mid-tone out here right away. Hey, I put rocks over here too. Did you notice them? We can add a mid-tone to these as well. I wasn't planning to add them to this side, but I felt like it needed it. It was a quick and easy addition. Now it's time to start working on these palm trees up here. And it really happens pretty quick. This sort of stuff just drops right in usually. Yeah, usually. And anyway, I've got just a little green in my color today. Not a whole lot of green, because green is not a sunset color. If you put green in your painting or sunset paintings, so much of the time it looks terrible. But I think we can get away with it because the amount of blue that we have in the sky, it would allow us to have some green showing. But if this was a sunset where there's no blue, I wouldn't put any green. I just not have the green on the palette, honestly, because it can make it look that bad or that weird. There. Hey, this is good though, isn't it? Get a little palm tree action. Yes, I did sort of take a good look and take a deep breath before I put these big dark lines in. Because, it doesn't matter how many paintings you do, sometimes you can slip, make them too fat or put them in the wrong spot. So it just doesn't hurt to stop and take a minute to look at it overall before you put those lines in. All right, how about, well, these are all growing together. I'd like to do this one a little looser. Now, when you do the actual part that I'm doing here, the little leaves of the tree, it's quite a bit easier to correct any, I won't say mistakes, but any issues that may come up. Won't be such a big deal. The only thing that usually goes wrong with these, if something is going to go wrong, it just end up covering too much of the background. But that's usually not the biggest deal. Even like in here, I want it to kind of look busy or mushy. See that? All right, that's about all it takes. I think the real fun is when you go to highlight them and make them stand out. Now really one of the final things that we're going to do here today is just to carefully drop in a little highlight on either side probably of this palm tree, and then probably on the left side of some of these up here. See, our light source is here, and it's very possible it would be hitting on both sides. Maybe a little less. There's just a little touch on this side, and then a little more on that side. We don't want much. So here's the thing. You could so easily lose all of your really pretty contrast. And it would look a little bit flat. All we need is the smallest amount of this to create a nice impact. Oh, that is definitely an impact right there. Yeah, you can tell we're getting close to the end. I like that a lot. And see how you can just, it really helps to, oh, I got such a glare, I'm going to stick my head right in front of the canvas. Hopefully it doesn't block anything. But see how that can just bring that straight out. That's pretty. And there's a lot of paint and not a whole lot of pressure. You're just barely touching that canvas to get this effect to happen. At least that's what usually works for me here. Then, of course, you make a choice. One of them's in front, one of them's behind. Hey, look at this. For the first time in a year, I've done something in order. I painted the one behind it first. Now we're going to do my favorite part of the seascape, which is adding in these little, whoa, don't do that, adding in these little bits of texture. See, I just thinned down the paint, actually just with a little bit of oil, and then you can just flick on the sand on the beach. One nice thing about this, very, very forgiving, so there's no pressure at all. So, I just laugh, and it doesn't matter when stuff like that happens. It really does not. So you do this with a few colors, and before long, it actually starts to look really good. There's just our light spot there. And people use a toothbrush or a fan brush. They use all sorts of different things. Filbert brush, I like the brush. It's easy, it's convenient. I think it's probably my favorite for this sort of thing. And the less you thin down the paint, the smaller the droplets are. That's just good to know. All right, that's looking good. I'll do it with a couple more colors, but it's the same exact idea. And then just so you can see, all you do is you just take a brush and you come in here and you just literally erase any of those funny ones. Or you can just leave them, they're driftwood, either way. Well, I got so excited by the sand, I almost completely forgot about my palm trees. Oops. It wasn't until I stood back and, well, let me get the cameras ready to do the closing. Oh, those palm trees. So I ran back up here and continued to paint. Just got to get a little touch of light, not a whole lot, but just enough to show that there is some sunlight and that I didn't forget about them. Just enough. And we'll mostly just do it on the edge of the branches. Yes. That's good. And then, little up here on this guy. Again, you don't want to ruin that contrast. All right, well, I think we're done. I had a lot of fun. I hope you did too. Don't forget to check out our website, DVDs, and brush line. Thanks for watching.